the most electrical, prestigious race on schedule. Tonight, we officially start Season 5 at the Great American Race. Welcome to Daytona. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Pete Ruzick. Pete, how you doing out there tonight?
Eliza, Season 5, start of a brand new season. The Gen 6 Cup cars. The season's about ready to kick off. Some people say, nope, we'll save that for Atlanta next week when we get to Legacy, or when we get to the Legacy version there. But, man, I'm so glad the season's kicking off. Glad to be back with you. You and J-Mac did a phenomenal job shutting down Season 4. I'm back, ready to roll. Eliza, how are you?
I am doing good, and I am so ready for Daytona to start here. We had the duels last week, and man, it was so fun to watch. But we also have driver spotlights tonight, and it is going to be 2 drivers. So joining us tonight are veterans of SnB. First up is driver of the number 7 Bass Pro Shop Chevy for Dart Motorsports, who joined us in Season 2, Luke Allen. We also have veteran driver for FTR piloting the number 50 Sunbelt Rentals in the Chevy, John Honeycutt. How you doing tonight, guys?
What's going on?
I'm good.
I know. I'm looking forward to a fun night. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys some questions so everyone can get to know you, and I'll let you guys answer as we go through each of these. So, first question, super easy, as I'm watching a couple of drivers just send it in the air, but pretty wild. All right, Gen 6, do you guys love it or hate it? We'll start with Luke.
I've really only ran the car on super speedways. That's kind of what the car is best at, from what I've heard. I haven't really run it on short tracks or intermediates. Super speedways, love it. We'll see as the season goes on if I love it everywhere else.
I've been getting a couple of the same answers like that. A lot of drivers have not really gotten into these cars other than super speedway, so very interesting. All right, Honeycutt, how about you? Love it or hate it? Honeycutt, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me?
We got you now.
Okay. I don't love it nor do I hate it. I have like a lot of good memories in this Gen 6 car. I think for us as a FTR team, we started in this car. First time in our first race at Daytona, this race here, we won with this car, and then we picked up a second place win over at the end of that season, and then we finished I think fourth, I believe, in the season standing. So I have a lot of great memories in this car, but not a car that I would want to race this season, only because I like to stay with the current gen, with the real Cup guys are doing. So
Fair enough. I completely get that. All right, for question number 2, what 3 NASCAR drivers, past or present, would you have lunch with? Luke, we'll start with you.
Oh dang, that's a tough question. I grew up being a Jeff Gordon fan, so Jeff Gordon's definitely got to be one of them.
Nice.
I think Dale Senior has to be one of them too, just because he's not around anymore.
I agree.
So it gotta be him, and then I guess you gotta go with Richard Petty too.
All right.
Just the prestige around him. Yeah, I could pick like 10 people. Those are the first 3 that come to mind.
I like them. I'm right with you. I asked myself, I'm like, what would I pick? And I literally said the same thing. So I'm with you on that one. All right, Honeycutt, what about you? 3 NASCAR drivers, past or present, would you have lunch with?
Well, I used to be a Richard Petty fan when I was a little kid, so
Okay.
I did get to meet him at Daytona. I did have conversations with him, so I want to like not include him in this pick. He was a pleasure to speak with. He was very down to earth. I would say like DW. I know he would have a lot of good stories. Maybe like Jeff Gordon. He would have a lot of great stories. And then maybe someone now would probably be like maybe Chase Elliott, only because he's kind of mysterious in a way. He doesn't really talk as much, and maybe just to see what what he likes to do on the outside of racing.
I like it.
So
All right, fair enough. Vogues, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning. I see y'all out there. Thank you. All right, third question. What is your strategy for tonight? And we're going to start with Honeycutt.
oh god, of course. Well, starting in the rear, what 36, I think. I don't know. I don't like being this far back. I don't think I've ever started this far back in a Daytona race. I normally like to be up front because I'm very aggressive. I'm more comfortable and trying to control my own destiny up front. So trying to get through the field this early, I don't know. Maybe I might stick around just a little bit in the rear, but I want to try to move up as quickly as possible. I don't like to get caught in that second pack, nor do I want to fall into a group where those guys are going to want to lay back a little bit and then kind of separate themselves from the group, and then you're kind of having to chase the leaders around and trying to catch up. So I don't want to be in that spot. So I would say probably try to get and stay in that lead pack is the key, and try to get to the front as quickly as possible.
Makes sense to me. All right, Luke, what about your strategy? I know there's a couple of different ones out there.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm back here with Honeycutt. I'm 35th.
Yeah.
I was like halfway between turn 4 and the start finish line, the duel. I was looking at like at 13th, and then I ended up finishing almost not making the race. So yeah, I was planning to stay in the back, and then everybody I talked to today was like, the back's probably more dangerous than the front.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna look to get to the front in the most non-aggressive way possible. If something's there, I'll take it. If not, I'm just gonna try to mind my time. But yeah, I don't want to get like in a second pack and lose the lead draft. You never know.
Right.
Like I don't,
Absolutely.
how many laps it'll go green. So I'm gonna try to get to the front too, and hopefully not crash. That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different strategies, but this one is a tough one. A lot of drivers haven't touched these cars, and last week was a great time to see what they're all about, but different strategies for sure. All right, fourth question. Who is your favorite driver in SnB to race against? We're going to start with Honeycutt.
Of course. So what was it? Season 4, we ran in the Xfinity cars. Not Xfinity. Next Gen, right? Or was it Season 3? I can't remember.
3.
But yeah. So I was having a really good season, but not overall. I mean, I was having some of the worst luck in that season, finishing. But running wise, I was running very well. So when I was having a really good battles with Brody, and I, going back to that Dover race where him and I kind of battled it out throughout that whole race. Obviously, I came out on top because I was able to actually finish the race. I don't know. I like Brody a lot. I think he's very aggressive. I think he's at the same time very calculated, and he doesn't mind running fenders with you, and he could do that respectfully, and he's not afraid to kind of dish it out and also receive it. And so I think for me, I like running with him. I also like running with guys like Hunter Johnson, who's also very aggressive, and there's a few other guys out there that I like to mix it up with. Luke Allen's another one, right here. He's also a great guy to kind of rub fenders with from time to time, and him and I have chatted in private messages, and he's always, he's looked out for me and apologized for some things, and I'm like, hey man, I was doing the same thing, I was rubbing you, I thought. So
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's all good, and I like running against with those guys that aren't afraid of banging and pushing and things like that, and be okay with it. So
All right. Luke? Who's your favorite driver in SMB to race against?
I feel like I'm obligated to say Honeycutt now.
No
Um,
pressure.
I was thinking about this, and Honeycutt took my answer. I was gonna say Brody.
All right.
One of the nicest guys, but I'll say somebody different just for stream purposes. I've raced with those FIWB guys like him, Jim, Francis, for like probably going on like 5 years now. And yeah, I'm close to them. I like to race with them. I'm gonna say Jonathan Jurgensmeyer though.
Oh, okay.
I've raced with him in other leagues. We have a lot of respect for each other, and I think he's better than me, and I like to push myself to be better. So I think he's a good bar.
Always helpful.
to measure
Nice.
up against.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's nice.
All right, final question. We're running out of time here. So, what is one thing we do not know about you? Luke, we'll start with you.
I'll go with I play golf.
Oh.
I'm a decent golfer.
I saw photos of that today.
Yeah, most people probably wouldn't know that. I like to say I'm better than the average person, but not incredible. So
Oh, I like it. Very nice. All right, Honeycutt, what about you? What's one thing we don't know about you?
Oh God. I am an artist. I do like to draw things and create things. I also like working with my hands, like building stuff. And yeah, that and I guess in playing sports, I played sports all my life. I was a really great basketball player. I really wanted to go to the NBA. That was like really serious about that. So
Nice.
that's also something that I don't think a lot of people know. I was very athletic. So
All right.
and that's it. Yeah.
Hey. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out here and chatting with us, and I wish you a ton of luck heading into the Daytona 250 here. I know you guys are in 35th and 36th, so it's going to be pretty wild to see you guys make it through. But I'm gonna put you back in your chat. But thank you so much for coming out here. Good luck, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you heard it here from these guys. I'm gonna put Luke back into Dart. I don't know where his teammates went, and we'll put him back. But these guys are these guys are going straight to the race here, and I cannot find FTR.
All the way in the
Repeat,
bottom.
can you help me out?
Yep,
we
I
can't
gotcha.
get him. Okay, thank
Yep,
you.
not a problem. I got you.
All right, so we're getting ready to go to the Daytona 250 here, drivers. Thank you so much, Earth. I see you out there. Thank you so much for the subs. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope you're doing awesome. Vogues, again, thank you so much. Now he's doing gifted subs. Crazy. We got Jarrett Cardwell out here, a new driver for FTR, but man, repeat, it's going to be a wild race tonight. I'm excited for it. I don't know about you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Daytona, it's not only the start of the season, but everybody wants to win here. Yeah, I was just looking at Jimmy Cocker's scheme. He's kind of bringing back the scheme that he ran to victory in the season 1 Daytona 200 here for Shake and Bake. Kicked off a great, what become a legacy for him here in the Shake and Bake series, whether it's in the next gen, the Xfinity, or now the Gen 6 cars. I definitely wish him a whole lot of luck. Team FIWB is very, very strong. They got last season's champ. Eliza, we are done with practice, going right to race. We're going to go through the grid, remind everybody where they all start. Let's kick off season 5.
I know, crazy. All right, it is showing Brian Pizzakemi out here on the front row. I'm pretty sure that's not right, so we're going to see what happens here. Rivers Jones should be on the front row, so this thing is a little messed up. All right, I'm going to go based off this, so don't pay attention to what that says. We're going to change it up here. I don't know, this thing is freaking out. But River Jones going to be on the front row along with Justin Anasagak. Francis Hamilton in row 2 with Jonathan Hernandez. Joseph Turley going to be in 5th with Thomas Harmon in 6th. We're going to have Forrest Smith in 7th with Micah Walls in 8th. Justin Rott in 9th with Stephen Maggio in 10th.
P11 looks like it's going to be Duncan Faw. Excuse me. I'm kind of catching up with a little bit here. And P12 is going to be Brendan Book in that number 5 machine. Looks like P13 is going to be Jamie Wright with Matt Burgess to his outside in that 57. P15, Brian Pizzakemi, welcoming him back, kind of stepping away from the admin tower with Tom Flicker off the old Tom Flitty in that number 8, starting P16. P17, Jarrett Cardwell, as Eliza just said, newcomer to Team SnB in the 12. P18, Philip Bridgman in the 24. P19, Zach Deutscher in that double deuce with Riley Rosenbrook in the 86 to his outside.
All right, let's see if this thing is fixed because, man, they are moving around and it's switching things up. 20th is going to be Riley Rosenbrook, Zach Deutscher in 19th. 21st is going to be Joe Berg with Mike Campbell Jr. in 22nd. Jordan McGraw in 23rd, with 24th being Hunter Johnson. 25th is going to be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jeremy Kramer in 26th. Jimmy Cocker in 27th, PJ O'Leary 28th, Matthew Gale 29th, Matt Sisseler in 30th, Brody Folliker in 31st, Jacob Palmer 32nd, Micah Allard in 33rd, Jacob Locklear 34th, Luke Allen and John Honeycutt 35th and 36th, who we just spoke to. 37th is Jose Ruiz with Austin Mitty in 38th, Charles Kramer in 39th, and Rob Newman in 40th. And wow, what a wild start that was.
Absolutely, at 40 cars strong. There were 50 people that tried out in the duels to make this race. Yeah, it's going to be a full field. Pit road's going to be very, very busy when that time of the race comes. Hopefully we see a lot of great green flag racing all the way through. Eliza, 250 miles here at Daytona. Welcome, 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 everybody, one more time to the Shake Bake Season 5 grand opening. Pace car is off pit road. Rivers Jones and Justin Aniscock going to lead us to the green. Eliza, let's go.
Fasten those safety belts. Here we go for the Daytona 250. Already 40 drivers off and running. Take a look at this. These guys just doing a fantastic job already at the start. Pete, I think, is going to be pretty calm at the start. I talked about it with drivers, but it is extremely difficult on that high side. You really have to pinch to make anything work. So your guess is as good as mine. Are they going to be a little bit more aggressive at the start, which that high side, they know what they're doing. They're already out to a lead, Pete.
Justin Aniscock on that outside. Got Hernandez right behind him. John Hernandez showed to be very, very strong in his duel. Behind him, you got Tom Harmon, normally an Avril Lavigne scheme. This time, as we talked about in the duels, bringing out the old Frozen throwback for you. The high side definitely struggled in the duels, but so far it looks like the high side was good to go. We'll have to see if it's all down to the pushing or not. On that bottom side, you see the 91 Rivers Jones. Right behind him, got 48, Francis Hamilton.
Yeah, Rivers Jones was on that pole, and you can just see these guys starting to even out just a little bit. But it is going to be extremely close. Let's take a look from the blimp here. That is a lot of drivers and that high side on top of each other. A lot of gap between these drivers on the inside, especially when we hit about 6th to 7th place. These guys know that it is a long race. You don't want to overheat your car. I'm talking, Pete, if you are pushing someone non-stop for a good lap, these guys are going to overheat and blow their engine. We're already taking it 3 wide at the start here up front. And these guys, the one car hits the outside wall, and that is going to bring out a caution, our first caution of the night.
Yeah, it just seemed like something happened with Hernandez. I don't know if he meant to go to the outside of Justin Aniscock or not, and then he made a little bit of contact with the wall. Looked like Justin was trying to give him room, but Jacob Lockley, Riley Rosenbrook, and many others involved in this one.
Let's see if we can go and take a look at perhaps what happened here. Back to the yellow flag. Try to rewind that a little bit. You can see these guys, the 09, that's Justin Aniscock, directly in the middle, just goes up a little bit, hits Jonathan, and there's nothing he can do. He's going to just ping pong back and forth. A reminder, there are no fast repairs here, so what you get is what you get. You're going to have to go in and try to get that machine repaired.
Yeah, and from what I hear, these Gen 6 cars, they definitely take a little bit more time than like the Gen 7 or the Xfinity cars did. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I misheard. I don't know. But these machines are very, very fast. We talked many times about them not exactly lining up, how the bumpers are very rounded. So that might have just been a push gone wrong that forced Hernandez to the outside. I'm not 100% sure, but looks like the 91, the 48, and the 13, they all stayed out right along with several others behind them, while others, as you said, on pit road to fix up the cars already.
While we're out here, let's take a look and see if we can get a track analysis for tonight and what to expect. Get that pulled up. But for Daytona 250, the race length, 100 laps out here. Like I said, no fast repair, so what you get, you're going to have to repair it. We do have 2 stages this season, not 3, and we are not going to bring out a caution for these stages, but we will award the top 10 drivers points based on where they finish 1st through 10th. So first stage will be 30 laps, and the final stage to finish it out will be 70. These drivers will have 3 sets of those fresh Goodyear tires to do what they need to do with it. All strategy. What are these guys going to do? We have a lot of drivers going in. 17 out on track currently. Justin, Matthew Gale, Francis Hamilton, Luke Allen, all on pit lane.
Yeah, a lot of those guys on pit lanes. A lot of those guys decided to go on down pit lane the second time around, leaving the 91 Rivers Jones right back up at the front, right behind that iRacing pace car. He's got Joe Turley, Justin Rott, Brendan Book, and Tom Flitcroft right now to round out the top 5. P6 looks to be Jamie Wright, Joe Berg, Brody Falker, last year's champion, Jacob Palmer, and the one and only Jimmy Cocker. So it's I'm kind of curious if these guys that went down pit road on the second time around thought maybe if they're in the back, they might be able to save a little bit of fuel and get all the way to the stage without any kind of issue. Right sides, left sides, no tires, a lot of strategy, a lot of time on and off pit road.
Let's go ahead and chat with Robert Newman here. We're going to bring him in the broadcast booth. Robert, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
Hey, Eliza.
How you doing? It looks like you've made some huge gains, getting 28 spots. Take us through your strategy tonight here at the Daytona 250.
Well, I mean, I was considering pitting, being in the back of the pack, but I saw the opportunity to, jump up through half the field by staying out, so I figured that was the best strategy for the time being.
All right, and on these restarts, what do you think is going to happen as we go 2 and possibly 3 wide?
It's going to be a mess, that's for sure. It's just a matter, I mean, we have a lot of talented guys in here for sure, guys and gals, but, it's Daytona, so anything can happen. I'd like to say we could stay clean here, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, but you're looking really solid out there. I wish you a ton of luck moving forward.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, that was Robert Newman out there. Gained 29 spots, just doing a fantastic job in that 33 machine. So we'll see what he can do tonight. Raced a couple of seasons ago in here. It's great to have him back. And these guys are getting ready to go back to green, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. The other guy that's gained a whole bunch of positions as well, talking about Jacob Locklear. He's up 22 spots. Jimmy Cocker up 18. John Honeycutt, who we talked to in pre-race, he's up now 20 spots. So there's quite a few guys making some big moves. And it could be all about strategy. Some people also, laying a little bit harder on that throttle when they might have needed to check up or said, no, I got this run, got to go. These cars are notorious for the run they get in this draft. A lot of fun this season.
A lot of fun. And man, these cars, they are sketchy. They are loose. They are fast. And like you said, some of the bumpers do not match up here. So it can be very difficult to push and make it so you're not killing the guy that you're pushing. So we'll see how these guys handle it. But man, caution so far, 1 in the first couple of laps here, going 3 wide. And a couple of them said, I think we're going to see that. And I didn't believe it, but here we are, 3 wide, getting ready to go back to green once again.
Absolutely. 13 is going to be the first one on that loud pedal. 47 I'm sorry, 91 rather, of Rivers Jones decided to take the high side. Brendan Book right behind him. He knows Brendan's a very, very strong pusher. 13, he's got the bottom side with the 76 of Justin Rock. Break flag.
Green flag once again. 40 drivers on the move. Vroom, vroom, Vroman. Thank you so much for the follow. Been a long time since I've heard that name. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, old HD Motorsports from back in the day. The one that actually got me started and getting going in broadcasting. He's a hell of a guy as well. But Eliza, look at this.
Woo, some
91?
51 already. What
going.
chaos is going on out here? The 50 around the 20, 26 around the 28. Man, I was expecting a very calm race into this race, so this is kind of surprising. Let's see if we can find out what exactly happened here tonight.
It was about 5 rows back and just seemed to get squirrely all of a sudden. Yep. This just goes to show that the strategies that these guys are talking about, whether it's laying in the back or no, I want to be as far forward as I can because I don't want to be in that proverbial hornet's nest. Yeah, it just goes to show at Daytona and Talladega, anything can happen anywhere in the running order.
See, it's very simple right there. Driver checked up as they were trying to make their way around the track, and that checkup absolutely accordion everyone behind him, and just with the speed of these cars, it is very, very difficult to try to get them mowed down that quickly. And there you have it. Cars spun around. Riley Rosenbrook on pit lane. Hunter Johnson, Jonathan Hernandez, all on pit lane currently.
You know, it'd be a good thing. You know, iRacing has it to where it'll tell you, somebody's on your outside, somebody's on your inside. It'll tell you when you're 3 wide. It'd be good if there was some kind of an update that would tell you, hey, check up front, check up in, something's going on in the back or something like that. Kind of give you a little bit warning, almost like it would be with a real spotter. But no, not so much. And unfortunately, that checkup bit the bottom line, I think.
Yeah, definitely tough out there. We'll see what these guys can do as we go back to green. But, it's a long race. You don't want your car damaged, and we have a lot of drivers going onto pit lane, starting with the 03 of Jamie Wright, and we have Brody Folliker right behind him, Joe Berg, Philip Bridgman, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jimmy Cocker, Steven Maggio, so a lot of takers out there for sure.
I tell you, Rivers Jones says, you know what, I started up front, I'm still up front, I got 13 of Turley right behind me, I'm not going in the back. This is way too early to try any kind of a gamble. He just wants to know that whoever's behind him can shove him without any kind of issue. So behind him would be Justin Roth, depending on whether he takes the high side or not. If he takes the high side this time, he'll have Tom Flitcroft right behind him. Jacob Palmer and Jacob Locklear would round out the top 4 rows right along with Rob Newman. All different strategies. Pace car lights are still on, so we're going to go around at least one more time.
See what these guys can get back to, but yeah, there's still a lot of drivers in pit lane. 26 all the way up to 40, so that is a ton of drivers still out there trying to get their machine repaired or tires, fuel, you name it. We do have 3 sets of fresh tires. We'll see who takes them, but Rivers Jones, I mean, he's just looking to stay out front. It's important to be out front out there, but man, again, you don't want to be inside the chaos, so it's difficult to know. Do you want to go out front early? That wreck, the last caution, was up front, Pete, so that's a difficult one to decide.
Well, yeah, within the first 5 rows, so you just never know where it's going to come from. There is no safe spot at Daytona or Talladega. You can go in the rear and get caught up in something just like you can in the first few rows. First few rows I'm looking at right now, Mike Papa Bear Campbell in that number 71 Ford for Turned Out For What Racing. And right now he would be in that zone where that wreck just happened. Is he kind of, thanking his lucky stars that he was able to get through that. That Ford looks nice and clean. And right behind him, Jarrett Cardwell running 11th and Philip Bridgman in P12.
We have Justin Anasagak, who's been extremely strong. He is out there currently running, I do believe, 16th. And Man, oh man, Mike Papa Bear Campbell out there in 10th, so pretty good spot for him currently. We'll see if he can make any more moves, but he's already gained 12 spots and just 10 laps. But we still have over 90 to go, so still a ton of racing. And Michael Campbell, I hope you guys are doing well out there. I see you rooting for them, and he's saying, hey, Pete.
Hey, bud.
Bogues, I see you rooting for that 12 car. He is new to FTR out here. Jarrett Cardwell. He is over in the F1 series, and he's been around SnB for a long time, and it's great to have him out here on the iRacing side for Team FTR.
Yeah, Jarrett Cardwell, we go back all the way through the Xbox days, and actually got to go down to Homestead with him to watch Martin Truex Jr. get his championship, and for Dale Jr.'s last race. He's a hell of a guy. His brother and his missus are expecting a bouncing baby here pretty soon as well. A whole lot going on in the redheaded Cardwell family.
Very exciting for those guys. They're always fun to race with, so it's great to see that they're doing well, and we're going to have another little baby on the way with the family, so very cool.
Absolutely. Great guys.
All right, Pete. Can we keep it green for a while? I was expecting a very tight race, but a very clean race until much later on. But these guys already showing the aggressiveness. We got to calm it down, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely got to calm it down as we get ready to go back green. Pace car is going to go ahead and pull off. Again, Rivers Jones chooses the high side, 13 down low. Let's go back. Green flag racing, 8, not right up on the back bumper of Rivers Jones. Rivers looks like he's going to go ahead and jump to the bottom. So does the 8, 5 down low, 39, and so many more. It's a conga line on the bottom.
I'm on board with Jamie Wright, who's currently in 11th, and he is on the high side, and everyone aborted that high side down to low, as you said, Pete. So these guys have a lot of work to do, which can get very sketchy, and we already have one off and running. That is going to be Jacob Locklear, I do believe. Man, oh man, no caution out yet. We'll see what happens, but these guys got to tone it down. The aggressiveness is crazy out here currently.
Yeah, that bottom line has a whole lot of strength. Meanwhile, the top side has about 4 or 5 cars, and then a 2-car break or a 2-car gap before any others. There's just no strength on the high side. In the duels, we saw where the bottom was extremely dominant on that high side. If you want any chance of getting up towards the front, you're going to have to get close to the bottom bumpers. Meanwhile, Liza, don't overheat that engine.
Yeah, you absolutely have to side draft. And if you have a driver down low, or if you are on the high side and you are not holding that line, that spells trouble. You see the 33 going to take it to the high side. That is going to be Rob Newman leading that upper top row here. And that low side just, we're already trying to make it up into 2 lanes. We're going to see who's taking it to the high side. Get that line moving. Get that draft flowing through these cars. We're going to have Tom Flitcroft leading that high side in that 8 machine. Rivers Jones comfortably out front still.
Oh, Brandon Book giving that 8 a little bit of a shot that he wasn't quite ready to be comfortable with. But looks like he's able to hold it towards the outside wall, able to bring it back in. Oh, they are squirrely. Man, I tell you what, but look at 5. The 5 of Brendan Book, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. Like we said, down on that 76 GOAT machine and just trying to side draft a little bit, giving them room in the corners, trying to gain as much speed as they can. Remember, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft won 3 races last season. The man is very, very great at this kind of racing.
Speaking of super speedway racing, let's talk about the Daytona, the start of the season. Got Jimmy Cocker out here, and let's find out where he is. He's currently 23rd. Now, he won our inaugural race at Daytona. He is throwing back that paint scheme from when he won, so he's hoping that's going to bring him some luck here tonight, as he currently is 24th. Still a long way to go. And then, as you said, we have had a few winners. We had Justin Anasagak. He won Season 4 Daytona. We had Tom Flitcroft win Season 2 and Season 3 for Daytona. So tonight, I'm wondering, are we going to see a new winner? or will it be a repeat?
I tell you what, right around Mike Pop Bear Campbell in that number 71. He's got 33, 15, and 34. J-Mac right behind. They were just 3 wide, able to settle that out. The 11th of the had to be very, very worried about what he was seeing out the rear view. Again, on the bottom side, a little bit further up front. All kinds of numbers on the bottom side, very few up high. And then that break back to Jordan McGraw.
You can just see how squirrely these cars get. The 24 on the back bumper of that 33 of Rob Newman. And that really makes these cars very upset when you get that close and try to draft off of them. So you have to really watch it, watch the pressure that you put on, how you hit him, and just make sure it's straight. Because if it is not, you are absolutely going to run into trouble. But these guys seem to be getting the hang of it. I mean, it's been a week. The duels, these guys were just very, very, I would say, calm in the race until the final couple of laps. I mean, it's the duels. You want to make sure you're qualifying in. There was guys that got sent home. See what they do tonight.
Yeah, I talked to Justin Anscock about the paint scheme that he's running. I asked him if he remembered the that Suzuki 09 machine from back in the day. That was the car, I want to say it was Brad Keselowski was racing, and it was during the tandem game. And he was pushing Carl Edwards, and it came down to the end. Keselowski tried to go around Edwards for the win, and Edwards tried to block, and Edwards ended up in the catch fence. And Keselowski went on to win that race. I'll never forget that paint scheme and all the coverage that got.
Oh, I bet. That had to be a wild one. Absolutely crazy. We're on board currently with Justin in that 09 machine, and you can just hear him letting off, trying to burp it for these drivers. You don't want to push a pusher. You can when you're up front. It is possible, but why risk it right now? Lap 17 of 100. We're getting ready to go to 18. Still a ton of racing left, but Justin going from that high side to the low line directly behind Jordan McGraw.
How about Duncan Faw right now sitting at P14, down 4 spots from where he started, but the man right in the middle of the pack, it's all the push and pull of Daytona and Talladega, all the super speedway style racing. The man just posted the fastest lap of the race so far, and he's in the middle.
He is in the middle, and he's got Luke Allen right underneath, who we spoke to, one of the driver spotlights. He's done an amazing job out there, and you can see him moving up on that high side, so doing a phenomenal job out there. These guys really starting to get their place on track, know how these cars are going to handle today here at Daytona. Just got to take it easy. Try to save your machine. Don't overheat it. You can see a couple of drivers that are off the pack. That is going to be Philip Bridgman out here. We have Jeremy Kramer behind him, and in front of that, we're going to have Brody Folliker, who is last season's champion. He's got Thomas Harmon out there, and I think PJ O'Leary. So these guys are very busy. They have a lot of catching up to do, and I know they're going to hope for a caution.
About this, got a new challenge for the lead. The 50 of John Honeycutt was just pushing the 12 of Jarrett Cardwell, and they were able to keep that high side right even with the bottom. But now Jimmy Cocker finds himself behind the 12, and the 50 of John Honeycutt now finds Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Micah Walls right with him as the high side starting to fall back. John Honeycutt to the lead.
Lead for FTR, and I know that he loves those next gens, but I'm wondering how he feels about it right now, sitting in the lead. But as soon as we say that, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he is out on that high side. Honeycutt gets turned.
Bad push, I believe, by the 39. That sent John Honeycutt up towards the outside wall, just as the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer took the lead with Michael Walls in tow.
And Buck through the grass here, the 45 through the grass. That's Matt Sisler. 67 down low. So that will be our, I do believe, third caution of the night, Pete. And we're not even to the end of stage 1 yet.
No, lap 30 marks the end of stage 1, so I believe that we're going to go back green right around lap 25. So a quick 5-lap run to the first stage points that will be awarded in season number 5, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's got a clear view.
Jurgensmeyer, he has gone in a couple of times already, along with Micah Walls and Steven Maggio. Jonathan and Steven, I do believe, are teammates, but we'll take a look here soon. We'll see if these guys go in. They've been out for 12 laps. I would imagine they are going to stay out and enjoy those front positions here. Jarrett Cardwell has gone in once. He has been out for 16 laps, and quite a few drivers have yet to go in. See what they choose to do, but man, a nice little run there. Dougie, I see you out there. Hello, Silent. I see you. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Coming up to lap 22, we'll see who goes into pit lane.
About Luke Allen right now, one of our spotlight drivers in that number 7 Chevrolet, up 24 spots. Jimmy Cocker up 22. Rob Newman, no surprise there, he's up 24. And several drivers with some big gains, but with the few cautions that we've had so far, as it looks like everybody's going to come on down pit road. A lot of things, shifting around too.
Yeah, I don't even see a single driver staying out, so I'll be very surprised if we see anyone. Everyone down pit lane. Here we go. Rivers Jones in that front spot after he qualified fastest before the duels took place. So that put him on the front row along with Justin Inosagak, who is currently in his pit stall. And Michael Walls, it looks like he is going to be the first one out. He will lead us back to green.
His GOAT team was fastest to get him out on track. Not quite sure if he took rights, lefts, or any at all. Maybe just topped off the fuel, and away he goes. Rivers Jones is a good, maybe second to 2 seconds behind him. Well, actually 1 second flat, but definitely had a very, very fast pit stop. Looks like it was going to be a 7.3 second stop compared to Rivers Jones with an 8.1 and 8.6. For Luke Allen, Joe Turley with an 8.3, and then you get into some 2-tire stops with Steven Maggio and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer.
Do a check on a couple of these guys. Joe Berg out there in the 93. Let's go ahead and get him in the booth. He's for FIWB. We'll see how he's doing, but them up here. Let me take him. Get him up. All right, Joe, is Eliza in the booth? How you doing out there?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You've gained 9 spots. The race has been crazy. How's the car handling, and what's going through your mind with all these cautions?
Yeah, honestly, the car's fine. I have no problems with it. It's been kind of chaotic out here. I thought we were about to be pretty calm there for a while, and then right in front of me I saw, I think it was the 50 was sideways. Somehow we made it through all of these wrecks so far, and we're still in it. We still got a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Well, I hope it continues. I don't want the booth jinx, but you are doing phenomenal out there, and I'm rooting for you.
Well, thank you. There is no such thing as a booth jinx in my opinion. I'll even say it.
Well, there we go.
Say it.
I wish that were true.
I'm not going to be
but
involved in the next wreck.
Exactly. All right. Good luck moving forward. It was great talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
Eliza, when he says something like that, all you can do is laugh.
All I can say is I wish that were true, but hey, he's excited. Take a look at that profile pic right there. He's got 2 thumbs up. We're rooting for you, Joe. All right. Yeah. Micah out there, Rivers Jones out front. These two will be leading the field back to green. Lights are out. We're on the back stretch, getting ready to go back to green, coming to lap 24.
Eliza, you're surprised to see the 47 of Michael Walls take the bottom side versus the high side where, Rivers Jones has had a little bit of success up there. I think he might have had a little bit more if somebody would have been on his back bumper to get ready and get going. He's had the 13 of Joe Turley with him a couple of times, but now it's all jumbled up. Luke Allen finds himself in P7 now, showing up 31 spots from where he started after the duels in that Cabela's Bass Pro Shop machine. It's a beautiful looking car. The 51 Skittles machine for Steven Maggio, welcoming him back to season number 5. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jarrett Cardwell surrounding him.
Yeah, I've got Zach Deuscher in 8th, Tom Flitcroft 9th, and Matt Sisler in 10th. So Great top 10 out here. We have 40 drivers still out there, I do believe, but we're getting ready to go back to green once again. See what these drivers can do.
Yep, pace car is off, and it's going to be a battle. Michael Walls and Rivers Jones, whoever's got the biggest help as we go back. Green flag racing, 47 hard on the throttle, 7 in the 51, pushing already. They are pushing the pusher, Eliza, as you see that 7 get a little squirrely.
It's getting a little squirrely, and he's saying, I'm out of here. Let's go to the high side. He's going to have Rivers Jones right behind him, and they're already making some momentum happening. And Luke Allen goes straight to the lead. The 51 going to have to push that 47, but this is where it gets interesting. You can see how tight this is and how squirrely these cars get once you make contact. We have a third car going up through the middle out here towards the back of the pack. How crazy are we going to get? That looks like it might be the 76, but I'm trying to take a look. That's going to be Justin Rott, and he's got Jimmy Cocker right behind him.
Yeah, 3 wide. When these cars are as squirrely as they are, I think that might be why we had a couple of issues very early. But yeah, it just seems like you're going to have to take the runs when they come. Otherwise, you're just going to have to kind of settle in and hope that the next one doesn't include you.
That low line, these guys are very, very tight. That high side, a little bit of gap between these drivers, so they're kind of taking it easy, and it can be a little overwhelming on that high side. It runs well, but you really have to tighten up to try to make anything happen. And that 51, Steven Maggio, is all over that 47, and that is how they have such great momentum. Jarrett Cardwell on that back bumper, and this is where it gets a little tricky. How far are you willing to push, Pete? Because these cars, they don't like it once you get so much gathered up together, and we've seen accordion effects earlier on. Ooh, that 12.
I just watched Jarrett Cardwell dive to the bottom. Jarrett was all over the back end of the 51. I don't think he wanted to be. I think the 7 was just forward while Jarrett was trying to check up a little bit more. But yeah, now Jarrett Cardwell on the bottom side. He's got one of the best to race in shake and bake when it comes to super speedway racing. The one and only Tom Flitcroft with the 67 of Matt Gale right behind him.
Jarrett Cardwell with a nose out, so he is currently our leader. But man, it is side by side all the way through, and this is for the lead. Micah going to be out in the lead now. Steven Maggio second. Jarrett Cardwell third, but man, so extremely tight all the way through the field. A lot of movement as these guys are trying to survive. We got 3 wide towards the middle pack here. That's going to be Jamie Wright, Justin Rott, and I think Duncan Fall. But man, 3 wide can be very sketchy. Daytona is not as wide as you hope.
Oh, it looks like more and more are getting that 3 wide bug. 0042, 67, the 11, like you just said, Jimmy Cocker. You see the 45, the 24, the 34 of J-Mac. He's got the frozen machine right behind him. Goat Motorsports bringing up the rear. Also on the high side, there are 3 wide, multi rows back.
All right, these guys getting aggressive. We're not even at lap 30, but here we go for the points. We're coming up 28 laps here, coming up on 29 next. And once we hit the end of 30, it will be stage points for these drivers. 11 going to that high side up against the 76. Very, very close, these guys. Can we make it to the stage finish? We're not even at 29 yet.
3 wide going for the lead. 47 up high, 7 in the middle with the 91 shoving. 12 on the bottom, still with Tom Flitcroft, Matt Gale right with him. Here comes the 45, 3 wide, 4 rows deep, Eliza.
Middle car getting really sketchy out there, swerving back and forth. That's going to be 7 of Luke Allen. They're going to fall back in that middle section. Not a great place to be, but we're at lap 29. They have to survive for this next stage points. The top 10 will get stage points, and they are ever so important to get here in SnB. You want to make sure you get it, but no caution will be coming out, Pete.
No, we're talking about being or liking the race with John Jurgensmeyer. Well, Jurgensmeyer up on the high side, right behind the 51 Skittles machine for Maggio. Jurgensmeyer is going to try to go towards the stage points as they come through turns 3 and 4. This will be the stage.
Still coming up. It's not going to be till the end of lap 30 here, so we still have one more lap to go, and then it will be the end of stage 1. Only 2 stages for each race. The next stage will be around 70 laps, so yeah, very crazy. These guys in the top 10 are going to be Micah Walls, Jarrett Cardwell, Stephen Maggio, Tom Flitcroft, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Joe Berg, Matthew Gale, Justin Rott, Matt Sisler, and Brody Folliker, if they can survive. We're coming up in 3, heading into 4. Can they get it done?
Think they can. 12 on the bottom. He just looked like he got shot out of a gun. But going into the corner, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft trying to line up with him. But right now, it looks like the 47, 51, and 00 on the high side. They're going to be at the top of the points. 12, I believe, just right there, finished P number 4 in stage 1. Coming out.
Cocker moves all the way up to 9th, up 18 spots from where he started. Matthew Gale's going to grab a top 10 and some points. Luke Allen just on the outside. That shows you how fast and how quickly this can move, and you can go down or up in position.
I think I just goofed. There is no stage yellow. We're staying green. Yeah, there we go.
Green. Stay in green.
You could have corrected me. It's okay. Be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's roll on. But anyway, no,
We love you,
fantastic.
Pete.
I love you too. Fantastic racing here to finish stage number 1. You know, when push comes to shove, these guys really showing what they're made of and what they're willing to put on the line. Just for back stage as the 7 gets a little loose behind the 76. Makes a little contact with the wall. Yellow's out.
Yellow is out, and we watched that happen, and it looks like John Honeycutt involved. Once again, a lot of drivers out there, perhaps. Rob Newman, Jacob Locklear. Let's take it back, man. A lot of action going on here. See what happened.
I tell you,
Right.
the 47 doesn't look like he wants to let up.
We're trying to find it here, but man, so many drivers out here. Ooh, the 33, yeah, just straight up into that outside wall. We'll try to rewind it a little bit. It's like 13 just woes down quite a bit, and the 33, that makes him 4 wide, which is extremely difficult, if not impossible to do properly here at Daytona. That's going to cause you some chaos.
Yeah, 4 wide, that's definitely acceptable by Talladega standards. Definitely not here at Daytona.
I've definitely done it before, and it usually does not end up too well.
Yeah,
Michael
no.
Walls under caution. He is your leader, Jarrett Cardwell, who led a couple laps out there. He is in 2nd. Tom Flitcroft 3rd. Stephen Maggio 4th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer up 20 spots, sitting P5. Matthew Gale in 6th in that number 67 machine. Justin Rott in 7th. Matt Sisler in 8th. Joe Berg 9th. And Philip Bridgman 10th.
Yeah, last season's champion, Brody Falliker, right now sitting P11 in that 42. His buddy, Luke Allen, right behind him. Jimmy Cocker also in that number 11, our season 1 winner here at Daytona. Jordan McGraw, old J-Mac, sitting P14, up 9 spots. Francis Hamilton in the 48, right behind him for P15. John Honeycutt, 16th. Tom Harmon in 17th. Rivers Jones, 18th. And Zach Deuscher in 20th.
Like everyone is going in except maybe Jacob Palmer. He's going to stay out. What do you think about that strategy?
Well, we'll have to see how it works out for him. But yeah, definitely see him going to the front. His last pit stop was only a little over 4 seconds, so that tells me it was probably lefts and maybe a little bit of fuel, but not much. And now it's back on lap 22. Here we are now on lap 34. So 12 laps on, your either rights or lefts. But Jacob Palmer also was asking earlier in pre-race, say, hey, Pete, take a look at my paint scheme. Little special here for this season opener. So he's at the front, Eliza. Nice little car he's got going on.
Yeah, let's see if we can take a look here. That 39 machine. He's raced for SnB for a very long time, and we find him out front here currently, so great job for him, but we see him ghosting in and out. You don't want to see that for sure. We're going to have Jarrett Cardwell out here in second. He's going to be in that front row. Steven Maggio came out third. Justin Rott in fourth. We're going to have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the top 5, gaining 20 spots. But Jacob Palmer, with that move, he gained 31.
Yeah, Tom Flitcroft, he's up 10 spots right now, sitting P6, up 24. Again, it's going to be Brody Falker, so he gained a little bit there on pit road. Joe Berg up 13 spots to P8, P9, Jordan McGraw. And then in P10 down 2, talking about the number 47 for Michael Walls, who was just leading.
All right, let's have a little chat with Jarrett Cardwell. He's done an amazing job out there. We'll have a chat. Jarrett, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing?
Doing good. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. A newer driver for SnB. We have a couple of takers for pit lane, but how's your car handling out here? I've seen you out here in front, and you're looking pretty solid.
It feels pretty good. Just kind of running around the entire race. Just trying to keep it out front in clean air and keep it going straight in one piece.
Any strategy moving forward, just trying to keep it clean?
Go fast.
Fair enough.
That's about it.
Well, I wish you a ton of luck. I know you would love to have a win here for the Daytona 250, but front row right here, right now, looking solid. Let's hope you keep it. All right, that was Jarrett Cardwell, and I'm going to try to get him back into FTR down there. Having a great night, a lot of these drivers are, but I'll tell you what, it is tough out here, Pete. We've had a few cautions, more than what I thought. I thought it was going to be easy, clean until the final few laps, and these guys have, thrown us a little surprise.
Well, I mean, it's the first prestigious race of the year. It's the first race where a lot of these guys are together. In their duels, we ran 24, 25 cars at a time. Even the duels up to the end were pretty clean, and then it got pretty hectic when it was really go time. So I think that kind of kicked things off. But these cars, as they wear down, we're seeing that they don't handle like the Xfinity or the next gen cars. In those cars, the high side absolutely prevailed. Here it's the bottom side. We're also seeing a little bit more movement out of the cars as the air starts to swirl around these machines. So these are entirely different beasts than what we've ran in seasons past. Might just have to get used to the way they run until we get to Atlanta next week, where it's going to be a whole new ball game. But the pace car is going to go ahead and pull off track, Eliza. We're going back green.
Going back green, and Jacob was the only one who did not go in. We'll see how he is able to maneuver out here on older tires and whatnot. But the way the guys came out, Pete, I'm not sure how much, if any, tires these other drivers took, as they were in pretty quickly. But this low side moving really, really well, and that high side struggling a little bit on this restart.
And the only thing is, there's no form to that low side as that high side chugging right along down the back stretch. 12 having to check up just a little bit as the 42, 34, and 48 all move up high. A lot going on there in Team Tom. J-Mac right in the middle. And there's Jarrett Cardwell, who we just spoke with, while the 39 still holds the lead on the bottom side, about P4.
High side in the lead currently, so some of these drivers went up and switching a lot of positions out here, but we're going to have Jacob Palmer still leading that inside with Brody Folliger. It looks like leading that outside with Jordan McGraw directly behind, as Pete said. So this high side out front and doing really, really well.
Yeah, there was no real big pushes coming from that bottom side. They just did not seem to get up and get going. Meanwhile, up high, they went. Jarrett Cardwell right along the 8, looking at the bottom. A little bit of momentum as they go down the hill. 48 not quite on Jordan McGraw's bumper. So now the 42 is trying to find which line he needs to be in order to keep that lead. Looks like it's going to be the high side.
Michael Wall's taking it 3 wide, and it started to get a little sketchy as these drivers on the high side were kind of moving down low, almost as if to block him, but not enough to do so. Micah, he's going to fall back in that sucker hole, but he does have some help. A couple of drivers coming down to try to make something work. That's going going to be Justin Rott, and it looks like the 27 of Duncan Fall. We'll see what they can make happen with it. But man, tough going out here, but Brody still out in the lead. And Sandy, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. FIWB, always strong out there, currently in your lead.
Yep, the 12 of Jarrett Cardwell tried to keep right with the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, but Tom went ahead and pulled low right behind that 48. Now here comes the 20. I'm not quite sure who that was that just threw it to the bottom, right with the 11 of Jimmy 27 now to the outside. Duncan Faw, a guy that we've talked about a time or two, got the 47 right behind the Tom Flitcroft falling back. Top 4 on the high side looks to be last man standing there, the double deuce, Zach Deutsch.
On board with Duncan Fall, he's currently sitting P6 up 5 spots from where he started from the duels last week, directly behind the 22 machine in that low side, getting great momentum, heading up towards the front and taking over that lead. Some really solid paint schemes. I'm looking at that, Pete, and yeah, Philip Bridgman, you can see him in that 24 rainbow paint scheme, always a solid one. Jimmy Cocker hoping to make a repeat for Daytona winner. He's bringing out that throwback to the first Daytona season, first Daytona race that SnB ever ran.
Absolutely, that was a great race for him. Great points night to kick off the season. But how about this? Philip Bridgman on the bottom side. They are 3 deep, going back to the 48 Detroit Tigers machine and the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and then Jacob Palmer right there with him. All 5 full speed ahead, getting on by the 42. Palmer also not clear as the 42 kind of struck the wall just a tad bit, but we're keep on going.
And they pushed him out to the front and said, I got places to go. Jimmy Cocker going to take it to the high side, and he's going to have teammate FIWB out there to help. Tom Flitcroft behind him, but I'll tell you what, if you can push the pusher, we talked about it earlier, you will get a huge boost from momentum, and that's exactly what these drivers made work. You can see a lot of scratches and everything on Jimmy Cocker's 11 machine. He has been through it tonight, and he is out here out front.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker, very, very experienced super speedway racer. He's got the 48 machine right with him. Tom Flitcroft, he saw him dive and get out of line earlier. He does so again, just in front of Brody Falliker and Joe Berg. I tell you what, don't ever sleep on Tom Flitcroft. He's in it for the win every single race, whether he feels like he has a chance or not. The man's a very, very hard-nosed racer.
Absolutely. It looks like we have a couple of packs here. It goes 1 through about 23rd, and then we're going to have a whole different pack. Looks like 84 is going to be leading that is 19th, Jacob Locklear. So these guys starting to split up, and then we're going to have a third pack that starts with about Robert Newman and Rivers Jones, who was our pole sitter tonight.
Yeah, Jacob Locklear and a few others had a huge checkup on the bottom side, and they were playing a whole lot of bumper tag, and so eventually they got very separated and had to blow it up and slow it up in order to catch their cars. And the big result of that.
Jimmy Cocker still out here out front, but we have a lot of drivers that are in pit lane still. PJ O'Leary and several others, Micah Allard, Hunter Johnson, Jonathan Hernandez, Riley Rosenbrook, and Joseph Turley. So some of these drivers still struggling out there, trying to get that machine fixed up and get back out on track, but too wide for this front pack. Philip Bridgman has fallen back to 8th from where he was out front. Jimmy Cocker trying to hold on to that lead with his teammate Francis Hamilton directly behind. And man, Pete, I got to talk about Francis Hamilton. We talked a lot about him last season. Just huge improvements on speed and strategy, everything, you name it. These drivers work so well together on Team FIWB, helping each other, making improvements, seeing what they can do. And Francis Hamilton, I'm impressed. I think we're going to see a win from him absolutely this season.
Oh, I agree with you. I would have asked Luke Allen about his success last year and how he thinks that would have or how he thinks that will carry over into season number 5. A lot of FIWB drivers showed massive amounts of improvement over the off seasons from 3 to 4 and then again from 4 to 5. They are pure racers. I'm actually in, or I'm lucky enough to be in their Team FIWB Discord. They're all about all different kinds of racing, creating paint schemes, having all kinds of fun doing it. They pull each other up whenever someone's got a bad race, and they're all about each other if any of them fall on hard times with everything that's going on in the world. But Team FIWB is very, very tight.
You love to see it. And Sandy's out there in chat and says 100% we're going to see a Fran dub. And I agree. I love it. You see him out there fastest and practice quite a bit. You see him out front in the races. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. But very exciting to see just the improvement. And man, I love it. I absolutely love it. But Justin Rod out here out front. Jimmy Cocker in second. Michael Walls in that 47 machine. Third, Francis Hamilton fourth. Duncan Fall going to round out the top 10. Jacob Palmer gained 24 spots along with Brody Folliker. These are 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I tell you, I think we need a new lap leader count in these overlays. I mean, it just seems like if you've been inside the top 5, top 10, at some point, the leader is shifting lanes in order to protect that lead, and a whole new line comes surging forward, and then you got a new leader again, and it just seems to be what we're experiencing as we've got this really nice long green flag run. We saw lap 30, our last stage, come and pass. It seems like just last lap, and here we are knocking on halfway, 48 laps in.
So far, looking through it, looks like our fastest currently is going to be Zach Deuscher at 214 mile per hour, just on the battle box here. So very fast driving, not a lot of wiggle room to make a mistake. If you're going to make a mistake, you're taking a lot with you. And that 48 machine is all over the back bumper of the 11, the 47 on the 76, the 27 pushing the pusher. So things could get very interesting up top here.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that in the corners, and yet they were. As we come through the trial right now, the 11 is still on the bottom, and still Justin Raw on the high side. So side by side, between the 11 and 47, 27 and 48. 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and how about the 39 rather? Sitting P4 on that high side with that double deuce of Zach Deuscher right there.
10th is going to be Joe Berg. Let's see if we can take a look. We have Jacob Locklear and 11. So these drivers that were in a separate pack, they have caught up in the 34, gets shoved into the wall, and that is going to take out Brendan Book. We have a couple of drivers affected by that. So unfortunate to see, but man, what a nice green flag run we had.
I'm sorry. I guess I should have knocked on some wood. Because,
right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. and he was saying that there's no such thing as a I don't get a jinx. There you go.
Oh,
Anywho,
man.
here we go.
Try to see what exactly happened with that. Just a little bit of a checkup, and we're gonna have some drivers damaged, and poor Brendan, he is stuck on the apron there, so not a good place to be. Hopefully he can get off of that, but the 84 looks like checked up perhaps. I don't know if he made some contact, but hard into the wall for Brendan Book. Jordan McGraw gonna have some damage on that as we are back under caution.
Yeah, under caution, it looks like for the 5th time this evening, working lap 50, so officially halfway here in the Shake and Bake Daytona 250, season number 5 in these Gen 6 machines. And yeah, that Texas Tech number 34 for Jordan McGraw has definitely seen better times.
I would say so. It looks like our top drivers are going to stay out. Are we going to see them go in this time? Let's have a look and see, but be interesting. I know a lot of these drivers want to keep that position. Jimmy Cocker looks like he is going to make his way on in. Our top 12, 13, 15, top 20 already on pit lane here.
Yep, everybody coming on down pit road, following the leader, getting to their pit box, hitting the boards. Some you'll see lefts go on, others rights, others just fuel. So far, Francis Hamilton in that Detroit Tigers machine ahead of Micro Walls and several others. Looks like Justin Anaskok in that 09 Mikusuki looks like Chevrolet just got to his pit box right as well as Rivers Jones. Those two started pole and outside pole for this evening's race.
Michael Wall's going to come out first, but we did have a couple of drivers stay out, hopefully to get a lap back for them. But Duncan Fall going to be in second, Philip Bridgman third, Matthew Gale fourth. Jacob Locklear out in the top 5, gaining 29 spots. Matt Sisseler in 6th, Tom Flitcroft 7th. Jimmy Cocker comes out 8th, loses a few spots there as I believe he went in as the leader. He's going to be 9th, Zach Deuscher 10th.
Yeah, 11th, it's going to be Justin Rott with Joe Berg right behind him in P12. P13, Mike Papa Bear Campbell in at number 71 Ford. The 42, Brody Falliker is going to line up 14th. 15th is going to be Steven Maggio in his Skittles machine. Rivers Jones, tonight's pole sitter in that number 91, is going to restart 16th. 17th is going to be Luke Allen in that number 7 Chevy. 18th, up 20 spots, is going to be the 9 of Austin Mitty. Forrest Smith in that 15th, going to be right with him. And to round out the top 20, how about Tom Harmon back there in that number 68?
Yeah, you know, I was talking to him before the race, and he says, "You want to know my average finishing position?" And it was not good, Pete. So I told him, hopefully that's out of your system, and we get a good finish for you tonight. We'll see what happens, but currently 20th, Jose Ruiz 21st, Matt Burgess 22nd, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 23rd currently, Jacob Palmer 24th, Jamie Wright 25th, down 12 positions, Jeremy Kramer 26th, John Honeycutt 27th, been involved in a few cautions here, Charles Kramer 28th, Rob Newman 29th, and Justin Anasigak in 30th.
Yeah, one guy that I'd love to see a bit more out of, and that's actually Jose Ruiz. He's one of those guys, kind of reminds me of a Jeff Noe, old Stout Whiskey from back in the day, who's there every week, all kinds of different leagues and races, different communities, clubs, you know, whatever you want to call it. And the man, he just loves to wheel these race cars, whether it's a truck, Xfinity, Cup car of any sort. Jose Ruiz, also part of Team FTR, is just a racer at heart.
He sure is, and I'll tell you what, he does a lot, but he's quiet. As you said, he's very quiet. Yep. He sneaks his way up there, and I'll tell you, he's had some really solid finishes, been in the top 8 and the top final 4 in some of these seasons here. So he's done a terrific job. The last couple of seasons, though, have been extremely tough for him. Not the finishes that he has wanted to see, and we'll see if this year can change that for him. But yeah, I want to see him make some noise out there because he is so talented, and we'll see where he comes out tonight. But yeah, he's sneaky. He's a sneaky one.
Yeah, kind of liking that 23 gold faded black Columbia machine. Looks pretty nice. Got the 00 right with him. Talking about Jonathan Jurgenmeyer, Jeremy Kramer, Jake Palmer right around him, Rob Newman, who we spoke with earlier, Jamie Wright back in 26th, Austin Mitty and Matt Burgess right ahead. Pace car is about to pull off. Eliza, we are going back green to start lap 53.
We're over the halfway mark. We'll see what we can do in the final part of this race. Will it be aggressive, or will these guys calm down for part of it until we get to the finish? But here we go. Back to green, 2 wide all the way through. No changing lines or positions until you cross that start-finish line. So they are free to do whatever. Now heading into turn 1, Michael Walls in the lead. Duncan Fall second. And it looks like we take over this high side. 67 of Matthew Gale. Love that scheme. Missing the Cookie Monster a little bit, though.
I'm just thinking the same thing. Absolutely. Yeah, that 47 kind of shot out of a rocket. Got very, very lucky that the 27 of Duncan Faw didn't just leave him out to dry and go up to the high side. He definitely had help with the 24 of Philip Bridgman to go ahead and do so. But right now, it's about 5 deep on the bottom side as they're trying to figure out which line right with the 8 of Tom Flitcroft where they want to be.
That was a little bit of a scary view on this high side. It looks like they are just completely stacked up. Very scary to see that if you're driving inside of that. But Jimmy Cocker looked like he was just about to get turned from that high side. But they have split up since from all the chaos and back together again on the backstretch. We'll see what they do here. But these drivers starting to catch up. You can see part of the back of the field, single file line on that high side, trying to make it their way up to the front of the field.
Yeah, talk about Matt Gale. I got to give a big shout out to Jacob Locklear as well. I've said it many times last season and the season before that. Matt Gale, he's over in the UK. He's up, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to race within Shake and Bake. But last I heard, Jacob Locklear was also stationed in the U.S. Air Force. A brother of my own also. So Jacob Locklear staying up in the wee hours well to be able to get his race on. So Jacob Locklear, I definitely wish that man a whole lot of luck. Right now, P2 behind Philip Bridgman on the bottom, and that GOAT Motorsports number 76.
Yeah, Jacob Locklear got married not too long ago, so huge congratulations to him. I know he can't wait to be back in the States and get along with married life here, but we'll see how he does tonight. So far, P7 up 27 spots. Michael Walls still in the lead, though. Duncan Fall behind him. These drivers doing a fantastic job. Duncan racing for Pelican Inc. and Michael Walls. I thought they were on the same team, but no, they are not, Pete.
Well, look at it. It's going to be 3 wide for P2. The 48 tried to stick with the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. We're going to take it 3 wide. 48 to 29. He's got the 11 of Jimmy Cocker giving him a shove. They are 3 deep, now 3 rows wide. 47, 48, and the 8. Here we go.
9 drivers within the first 3 rows. How about that, and how long do you think it can last? This is where it starts to get a little chaotic, a little crazy here. Second lane is still going to be 3 wide, and they are starting to fall back in that sucker hole. Daytona, it is tight. It is a lot more tight than you think it's going to be. What's it going to be? Where are these drivers going to turn out? I know Jimmy Cocker, Luke Allen, and Thomas Harmon, they want to get out of there, Pete.
Oh, that's 11 drifting up a little bit, getting closer and closer to that 47 machine up by the wall, but able to hold on to it. There they go. 11's going to drop back just a little bit. He's got 7 to Luke Allen right behind. 11 finds a hole on the bottom, but not big enough for the 7 to follow suit. Here comes the 71 of Mike Pop Bear Campbell on that bottom side, getting a big whiff of the draft from the 2-4. Last side still pushing right along. Now the 84 is leading the way up top.
Very, very tight group here as we are 2 wide and these guys are fanned out. I mean, even the 2 wide looks like it's about 4 with where these drivers are taking it. The 84 getting a little squirrely on that high side as he is getting pushed around the corner. I know the 76 is doing all he can to try to make them get up there, and that's exactly what you have to do. It's just so dang risky. It's hard to know what to expect when you make that push.
Yeah, absolutely. 84 down on the double deuce of Zach Deutscher, getting a little bit of a side draft, then back up the hill. 76, decides he's going to go ahead and pull it low. 47, GOAT Motorsports machine is going to go right with them. Steven Maggio looks like the one that's going to be able to line up behind Locklear. 48, 8, and 24 still leading the way with the 71 of Mike Papa Bear Campbell, and to round out the top 5, the one and only 11 of Jimmy Cocker.
Francis Hamilton in the lead here, just doing a great job. It looks like they are just taking their time with it. Tom Flitcroft getting ready to give him a bump from that 24, bumping him. So he is going to back off, ease off, so that he is not going to make a ruckus as we hit into the top part here for Francis Hamilton. But they're looking solid, trying to make it 3 wide. Luke Allen almost into the wall up there. He is going to fall back. He's P17, and he's just trying to make a home out here on the high side and quit going 3 wide.
Yeah, going 3 wide for about P12, P15. Up front, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft finds a new hole right behind the 48. The 11, who was just in that sucker hole in the middle, now finds himself P4. Justin Rott, Michael Walls for the top 5. Philip Bridgman trying to lead the way on the bottom. Mike Pop Bear Campbell and Zach Deutscher right behind, as well as last season's champion, Brody Bowser in that Team FIWB number 4.
Tell you what, this is opposite of what we saw last
Yep.
week in the duel. I mean, that high side, it was a struggle out there. You really had to side draft the low side. But take a look at these guys. They've learned a lot from the duels. You can push the pusher. You just have to make sure that you communicate with each other, make sure that you are dead center, and just pick and choose when you're going to do it and not overheat that engine. You can see the 24 is catching up and the 48 going to slide it down to the inside. He knows they have that momentum, and he is here on the train for it.
Absolutely, 48, huge shift down the bottom side. Not quite sure if the 24 of Philip Bridgman has a check up or not. Moving up to P3, now all clear. The high side as well. 8 of Tom Flitcroft with the 11 of Jimmy Cocker, trying to get something going. Goat Motorsports right behind him, 3rd and 4th on the high side.
All right, Pete, let me ask you a question.
Let's go.
Would you rather be the leader, Francis Hamilton, or would you rather be Philip Bridgman?
Oh, I don't want to. Just as I was going to say, I don't want the 48's fate in my hands. Huge save by the 48. We got a little bit of melee behind so far. No caution coming to start lap 63. Several people trying to find their way back on track.
How in the world did these drivers fan out like 6 wide, including the grass, and save that? And as I was asking you which one would you rather be, I was just about to say, I like leading, but I'll tell you what, it is nerve-wracking to try to hold it steady when you're getting pushed. It takes your car left and right, and you are just all over the wheel. Your heart is pounding, and it can be nerve-wracking, and exactly what happened right there is what can happen. So you have to be so very, very careful. Francis saved it, and huge props to these guys for saving that one.
Oh, absolutely. Tom Flitcroft on a high side, Jimmy Cocker, the 9 right now. How about Austin Mitty? We haven't talked much about him this evening in that Coors machine. Then, of course, the 24. But the bottom side, the 48 of Francis Hamilton, Mike Papa Bear Campbell in that P2 spot on the bottom, giving the 48 a little bit of a shot, but only on the straightaways. 68. How about it? Tom Harmon finding his way closer and closer to the lead, where we're used to seeing him several nights a week.
3 wide currently, and we'll see how comfortable he is out there. But that goat machine trying to get down low, and he is able to tuck that in. That number 47 of Michael Walls. Thomas Harmon is sitting in a fantastic spot. We still have a ton of racing left. Coming up to lap 65 of 100, we have a taker for pit lane, and that is going to be Zach Deutscher as the rest of these drivers stay out.
Yeah, that's not going to end up very well for Zach Deutscher unless a caution comes sometime soon, and I'm not saying we need one. We need to stay clean and green for as long as we can, but definitely a gap right now between 12th and 13th. 12th, Philip Bridgman, and then Matt Gale now finds himself 2 seconds behind the main pack with the 32 I believe that's going to be Matt Burgess. But his number's showing the 57 right behind.
Tell you what, that 47 was side drafting Thomas Harmon, and Thomas looked like he gave him a little nudge and said, you know what? No, you're taking me off the front of this pack here, and he fell back pretty well. So he is making his way back up there, but it just goes to show how strong that side draft is when you can work it. But Michael Walls, he's able to find a home in P8, and that's exactly where he started the race. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cocker, our inaugural Daytona winner back in season 1, he's out here leading once again.
Yeah, I tell you, there's so many drivers that I would love to see grab a W, but I got just a sentimental favorite, if I may, and that's going to be the 71, Mike Pop Bear Campbell. The guy had 2 races in everything. There's been a long time where he's been a bit behind on speed, but as of late, he's been running officials. He's been running just the open lobbies, getting better and better, buying himself brand new equipment, getting multiple monitors to make sure that he can stay informed with everything that's going on. I mean, he is absolutely committed. He has a league or a community of his own in Turnout for What, and I would love to see him put that 71 in victory lane this evening.
That would be something. That'd be so fun to see. I would love that for him, absolutely. You see Jordan McGraw coming back out on track. You saw Brendan Book. Tom Flitcroft looks like he is going down pit lane, and man, oh man, what an entrance he makes as he goes down there. The 84 machine, I saw him out on pit lane. Jeremy Kramer, Rob Newman, Jacob Locklear, Zach Deutscher, Hunter Johnson, Jonathan Hernandez, a couple of guys still out on pit lane from early part of the race. So you hate to see it for them, but Jimmy Cocker, he's still out front, and he's still got FIWB teammate Francis Hamilton directly behind. And I gotta laugh about something, because we were registering teams, and FIWB, you know, they have so many people out there. And they, did the second part of the team as FIWB, but different. And I told them, I said, when I announce you guys for the second part of FIWB, I'm literally going to announce you guys FIWB, but different.
They're FIWB, the abbreviated version.
There you go.
They're the WikiLeaks version.
Oh my gosh. We need Sandy to be out here. He's part of that.
But I tell you, these packs are getting further and further spread out. Looking at Jimmy Cocker leading the way, and then you go back to Matt Gale. He's 2 seconds behind that gap, and then another bit back is going to be Joe Bird, about P20. And it's like they're all trying to catch up to that track. And then you got Forrest Smith, that's quite a bit further behind Jarrett Cardwell, Jeremy Kramer, and so many others. But the field's getting broken up by these pit stops, by the damage that they've incurred throughout the length of this race as we get closer and closer. Actually, this lap is the end of stage number 2. We're all in, all green until the end from here.
Yeah, these drivers, I think once these guys fanned out and tried to save it, that really split things up for them. But around just over 30 laps to go, so we still have plenty of time to make something happen. I know these front drivers, they don't want a caution. They want to see this play out. I mean, they love where they're sitting, but take a look. This second pack, they are quickly catching up. You got Matthew Gale leading that crew. Matt Burgess pushing the bananas out of him right behind. Jacob Palmer in third. Out there, the 57 also involved. We'll see what they can do, but what they cannot afford to do is go too wide back here and side draft. That will only slow them up. But Brody Folliker, our last season's champion, he's also in this.
Yeah, that's one thing that we talked about with these cars, and that was how quickly they catch up to the draft. There's about 3 wide, 24, 27, I think that is, and one other as they kind of settle it out amongst themselves. 00 pushing that 27, Matt Gale in the middle. The 34 of Jordan McGraw, he's now got that 34 right behind, who was trailing by more than a second before getting back to the main pack.
Jordan McGraw, he is down at least a lap, so unfortunate to see for FTR. It's been a tough race for some of these drivers out there in these incidents, but this front crew, single file line, they're just saying, you know, we got to chill until the final part of this race. Keep the speed up. Keep those guys behind us in this second pack. And they are quickly approaching, I will say, and they are actually here. We have the high side running, and that's going to be Philip Bridgman. Will he be able to make some momentum happen and get up to the front?
He's got a champ right behind him. As you see the 5 of Brendan Book coming out of pit road, going to the green, joining the race. The 0-3 also right back there. It's going to be Jamie Wright. We talked about him once or twice. Then put the 51 machine riding P15, and he's doing anything but riding. That's Steven Maggio. Very, very hard racer out here in Season 5.
Brendan Book, unfortunately, not able to catch the pack, so he is going to be solo out here, which I can tell you is a very lonely feeling. You hate to see it for him, but still a ton of racing left. Jimmy Cocker out front here, and he's going to have the 27th place car directly in front of him. That's going to be Forrest Smith. We'll see where he goes as these leaders catch up.
Well, we've gone ahead 70. It was the 11 of Jimmy Cocker at the front with the 48 of Francis Hamilton right behind him. It was Mike Papa Bear Campbell to P3, and Michael Walls and Thomas Harmon now round out the top 5. But big credit to that number 11. You know, we mentioned it once or twice that he brought back the scheme that he brought to victory in Season 1 here at Daytona. Right now, he's got a whole lot of help, and I think if he can keep that car up front and keep it clean and not get taken out by anybody trying to shove him, he might go P1 in Season 1 and Season 5.
On board with Jimmy Cocker, and you can just see how squirrely that car gets from each and every bump. I mean, even simple bumps can really get that rear end absolutely upset, and you can see him all over that wheel. He's even steering a little bit to the left on that ratio here, just trying to keep that thing straight. But those bumps, you can definitely feel him, and I'll tell you what, he's holding on tight.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting to see if the 48 was going to lay off going into the corner.
Oh,
we got
huge!
contact behind him. It's the big one.
47 just hard into that wall there. Let's see if we can find out what exactly happened, but man, massive chaos. 47, just a huge nudge by Philip Bridgman, and that's going to turn him straight hard into the wall. The 24 collected. I'm not sure if we're going to have anyone else collected. We'll see. They did a great job of getting through here. The 47, just tough to see that for him.
Saying that kind of brings me back to that old Tony Stewart quote, where he said, well, if we don't wreck half the field by the time the race is over, we got to keep going, just turn the cars around, let them go back the other way, and see who gets it done then. But the old Rushville Rocket, Tony Stewart, missed the guy on track. A lot of things going on with him and Open Wheel and Leah Pruitt and all that nowadays. But yeah, 11, 48, and 71, pretty strong trio on that bottom side right there.
Absolutely. They've been doing a fantastic job. And Mike Papa Bear Campbell sitting third, up 19 spots. Jamie Wright in fourth. Thomas Harmon out in the top 5. Steven Maggio sitting sixth. John Honeycutt seventh. So he has found his way back up here. Rivers Jones started on pole, sitting here 8th. Austin Mitty 9th. Duncan Fall, he's going to round out your top 10. Will we have any takers for pit lane?
I don't see if it's a whole bunch of fake outs, or if anybody decides that they need maybe lefts, maybe rights, maybe just fuel. We'll have to see. But no, it looks like, again, everybody's going to follow the leader down to their pit stall. The 11 of Jimmy Cocker is going to be the first one to hit his, as it looks like, yeah, everybody decided to come on down pit road.
Very busy out here in pit lane. You can see Rivers Jones up here, and not Rivers Jones, but a couple of drivers up here. We'll see where they come out. A huge mad dash to the line as they try to get out front here.
Yeah, Rivers Jones looked like he was able to come out in P6. Jamie Wright, Tom Harmon, and Duncan Fall right behind him. Ahead of him, talking about Luke Allen, John Honeycutt comes out P4, up 32 spots. Steven Maggio third. Francis Hamilton, but Jimmy Cocker bringing that 11 in first and out first.
ahead and get Mr. Jimmy Cocker up here in the booth. Jimmy, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
Good, Eliza. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You know, you have been so extremely strong. We've talked about your paint scheme and how it is a throwback to the inaugural Daytona race for season 1. How you won it. You're doing phenomenal. What do you think your chances are of getting that win here tonight?
Hopefully pretty good. Me and Frank have been working really well together, kind of dictating where these lines are going and doing it in a clean fashion. I don't feel like we've cut anybody off. Yeah, I think we have a really good shot. You never know. These Gen 6s have been kind of a wild card catch-22 type situation, but, you know, I think we got a good shot at it.
All right, well, here's a question for you. It comes down to you and your teammate Francis over there. Are you battling for it, or what are we doing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know we
Can't
have
just
a lot
give
of
up
people.
500.
Hey, I agree, but I know we have a lot of people rooting for a Francis Hamilton win here too, and I know what's going to happen this season. So I was just curious. I know that FIWB teammates are definitely a tight knit family over there, so just
Oh,
curious.
yeah, I'm rooting for him too.
All right, well, you're looking solid out there. I wish you a ton of luck. Go get it.
Thank you very much.
You heard it there from Mr. Jimmy Cocker. If it comes down to it, obviously he is gonna go for it. And Francis, well, we'll talk to him shortly, but I do believe he won one of the duels. And I'll tell you what, it was so crazy out there, and it went straight back to the next duel. We didn't even get a chance to talk to him, Pete.
No, we didn't. But I tell you, if he's able to seal the deal, I'm sure he'd be just as happy to wait for a Daytona win. When it means points versus just a dual race. Even though the duel is very important, kind of setting the grid for Daytona.
Yeah.
And what a phenomenal set of duels that was after qualifying. Rivers Jones and Justin Anscock again taking the top spots to kick off this race. And it's just the start, Eliza. A lot of racing yet to go this season. Atlanta Motor Speedway is next week.
No, 23 laps to go here. Man, I always say I'm afraid of the booth jinx, the booth curse here. So I'm always scared to like get some of these drivers in, like Francis Hamilton, because I know he's got it in him. I just don't want to give him the booth curse here. So we'll see what happens. But man, he's got a lot of fans. I'll say that.
Yeah. FIWB is, as you said, very, very tight knit, and they do pull for each other. On the track, wherever they may happen to be, they post videos and pictures and all that of their happenings. And well, right now they are top side and bottom side getting ready to go back green. Coming to 22 to go. Green flag's back out, Eliza. Let's go.
You know Jimmy's going to talk to his teammate and give him the countdown to go to try to help each other out. They need that teamwork. I mean, this is Daytona. We have Jimmy going to that high side, getting pushed already by his teammate. Got to get that thing centered on there. It's just so sketchy. We're going to have Steven Maggio to the inside, leading that bottom line. Jimmy Cocker still out in the lead, though.
And Jimmy Cocker still in the lead, 48 right with him. John Honeycutt, followed by the 68 of Tom Harmon. So Tom, after getting some damage earlier, finds himself back inside the top 10. Bottom side Skittles machine of Maggio with the 91 of Rivers Jones. Rivers coming back up front when it really matters. 22 now, 21 laps to go here in the Daytona 250 as the leaders both take to the bottom side.
21 to go. Jimmy Cocker and Francis, as Pete says, goes to the bottom in front of Steven Maggio. This is where they can work the line, take it where they need to take it. These tires, you can start to feel them going down after a certain amount of time here. Luke Allen, we talked to him earlier. He's right next to John Honeycutt, who is also a driver spotlight, hopefully giving them a little bit of luck out here. Thomas Harmon still out here sitting P7. These guys are kind of switching all over the place. Musical cars, Pete.
Musical cars, but you really better watch that elevator music because that
Oh.
11 up and down, the 48 also up and down, 48 right back with the 11. They are back side by side, 11, 51, 48, 91, the 50 of Honeycutt, and here comes the 7, Luke Allen.
Luke Allen, we're on board with him, currently sitting P6 up 29 spots. Directly behind Francis Hamilton. Just take a look at that banking and you can just see how hard it is to get centered on that bumper. You got the 48 pushing Jimmy Cocker, and Jimmy Cocker's bumper is just taking Francis for a ride. That is why it is so hard to push the pusher. You have to lay back a little bit, maybe push some on the straightaways, but turns, pushing the pusher is not a wise idea, so Luke is hanging off.
Ooh, Rivers Jones with a quick move to the bottom. Right in front of the 11 of Jimmy Cocker. I'm sure that made the 48 check up a whole lot. As you see now, about a half a car length between him and the 11. The 7 of Luke Allen also kind of kicking back just a little bit. Honeycutt now behind the 51. And Rivers Jones getting squirrely off the bumper of the 11. We got cars into the outside wall. So far, those staying green, everybody able to kind of maneuver. Here we go. We're going to keep it going.
3 wide in the middle part of the field as these drivers try to get their traction back on track and get it single file or 2 wide. Once again, they did a fantastic job. A couple of great saves here tonight on track. But you can tell the chaos is starting to switch up a little bit. Aggressiveness is heating up. These guys are in it for the win. It's the Daytona 250, the most prestigious race out there on schedule. Every driver wants to win it, but only one can.
Absolutely, about 3 wide again for about 6 through 10, give or take. You see the 27, I want to say that it is in the middle, right along with the 03, 68 of Harmon. There's the 23 of Jose Ruiz, pushing Harmon up on that high side. 47 Goat Machine right up on the 23's driver's side door. And Eliza, I think it's starting to pick up a little bit here.
You can see those marbles being flung around on that high side. A lot of dust being maneuvered around as these guys getting really high coming off the exit. It is just so difficult to go 3 wide, but man, they're doing a fantastic job. But how long can that last? We've talked about this before. And then chaos happened. We'll see what they do, but that low line is just absolutely moving, and it is going to be Rivers Jones who is leading the field.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker now shoving him. So we both know the 48 and the 11, they can push and be pushed. There's Luke Allen on the bottom side, getting pulled up right alongside the 51. 51 getting a push from John Honeycutt. Honeycutt, little squirrely, up and off the corner. Behind him, 3 wide. 68, 47, and now here comes Matt Hale.
Matt Gale sitting P9th up 20 spots, just doing a phenomenal job. 3 wide once again. These drivers making me a nervous wreck. I can only imagine being part of that. 16 to go as we are on the backstretch. Still plenty of racing. What's it gonna be as we're coming down the backstretch? This is where you can get those nice bumps in. We'll see what they do down the backstretch.
At 42, Brody Fowler decides he's going to go ahead and try the high side for a second. He's going to pull up right behind the 0-3. He's got Tom Harmon right behind. So far, high side, though, not moving along, much like we saw in the duels. Rivers Jones still leading. Jimmy Cocker P2, 48 to 40 down. And it looks like now he's going to go ahead and move up to the high side. Maybe get that 7 to pull his way up, get a couple new pushers. But the guys that we've seen push and be pushed very successfully back now nose to tail on a high side. Rivers Jones now down low.
Luke Allen trying to gather it back up to get back up to that 91 of Rivers Jones and give him a push. Meanwhile, that has helped this high side get a nice lead out. That's going to be Jimmy Cocker with Francis Hamilton behind him. Duncan Fall sitting 3rd, Stephen Maggio 4th, John Honeycutt in 5th, and then you got that low side that is in the contact now. So we'll see what they can do, but man, oh man, that low side going to have to get it together. They have it 3rd in line is going to be Matthew Gale, and then the 47 of Micah Walls, who was involved in an earlier incident. He's up here almost in the top 10.
Yeah, Michael Walls, big moves for him. Right now sitting P11, down 3 from where he originally fired off after the duels last week. Jose Ruiz right with him, Austin Mitty as well. Brody Falliker now able to find himself a solid spot inside the top 10, at least for now. We know that these positions change lap after lap.
Jose Ruiz, we talked about him being sneaky, making his way up to the front, and he's not to the front just yet, but man, he's getting there, and he's sitting P14th currently, 22 spots up. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 14th, Matt Sisseler and 16th, Jacob Palmer 17th, Mike Papa Bear Campbell, he is out here in the top 20, sitting P18th. Tom Flitcroft, two-time Daytona winner, sitting 19th, and Jarrett Cardwell is going to round out your top 20.
New leader, Duncan Baugh finds himself in the top spot in that number 27. He's got the 51 of Maggio right with him. 91, full speed ahead with the 7 of Luke Allen shoving him, getting into the corner. See the 46 team with them. 11 and 48, back nose to tail on the high side. A couple cars scraping that wall as they come off before going through the tri-oval. And here we go. Getting closer and closer to 10 laps to go. Here we are, lap 12.
Matthew Gale was stuck in that sucker hole, was able to find a home down low, but we still have 3 wide in the mid part of the field, and that is going to be the 03, I do believe, of Jamie Wright. He is trying to make his way somewhere. Tom Harmon. Oh, these guys getting so close on that low side, really backing it up. And they were able to save it, but I'll tell you what, that has cost Tom Flitcroft a little bit of a time, but Thomas Harmon, he's found his home on the high side.
Yeah, Tom Harmon up high. He was a little bit more towards the front as he gets up. It looks like he's going to be 3 wide. He's going to take Jacob Palmer up by the wall. He gets a little squirrely. Honeycutt down inside, makes contact with another. We got no caution so far. Yep, yellow's out.
Yellow is out. A couple of drivers involved. Possibly Matthew Gale. Yeah, it looks like he is. For Smith in pit lane. We have Jeremy Kramer out there. A few drivers involved, and this is late race as we only have 11 to go, Pete.
Yeah, by the time it's all said and done, I believe we'll take the green with about 8 to go. So inside the double digits to wind down the Shake and Bake 250 live from Daytona, kicking off season number 5. Eliza, I think we have had more leaders this evening than I can remember seasons 1 through 4, whether it was in the Next Gen or Xfinity. This has been a phenomenal race as far as multiple leaders coming to the front.
It has, and I'll tell you what, definitely the most aggressive field that we've had for a Daytona race. Normally we see it very calm until the final 20 or so laps. These guys are just not wanting a boring race. They're just saying, I'm going for it all. We have a stage after lap 30 that separated stage 1 and 2, and we have the top 10 drivers getting those points. So we saw it ramp up right there. We're down the final 10 laps, so chaos again, and I think it's only going to get more aggressive, Pete.
I think you're right. I think you're right, and I think Rivers Jones, in the Team FIWB Discord, Rivers Jones, he kind of pulled a Babe Ruth and called his shot for the pole here at Daytona. He said he was going to get the pole. A lot of the guys wanted, well, how are you going to do it? And well, he went ahead and did it. So he knew right where he was going to start. Didn't have to worry much about the duels. And I think he is in the best spot, unless you'd rather second or third, which a lot of people would when it comes to closing out one of these restrictor plate races. But I tell you, I'd love to be I'd love to know the thoughts of Mr. Jones right about now.
Well, let's find out, actually. All right, we got Rivers Jones in the booth. It's Eliza. How you doing out there?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing great. You're right where you started the race out here on pole in first currently. What is your strategy as we head to just a few to go?
So I got my teammate behind me, and we're not planning to do like a teammate restart like you saw me doing with Joseph Turley.
earlier in the race, but I mean, it's just going to be my objective here is to do my best to control the lines, just try to keep the lead, see if I can hold on to it. Hopefully, we'll end up at victory lane if I do everything correctly.
That would be quite a story to start pole and finish the race as the Daytona 250 winner. So I wish you a ton of luck. Stay out front, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you in victory lane.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, you guys heard it from Rivers Jones. Very strong driver out here, really fun to watch. In that 91 machine, he's looking strong. He's got Luke Allen right there with him. So, man, it's going to be close. Two dart drivers right up front. Then you have Michael Walls sitting third, Duncan Fall fourth, Austin Mitty. Teamwork is everything, Pete. We've seen FIWB up front, and now we're seeing Dart. We'll see what they can do for the final part of this race.
Yeah, Rivers Jones and Luke Allen, very, very strong drivers. Michael Walls, I don't really know all that much about him. Looking to see how the season goes along. Duncan Foss, same thing. We're starting to see some people that were maybe mid to back of the pack for the most part, and here they are at the end. They were able to claw their way up, or maybe stay out when others came in, and yeah. They've got a great shot again as we're in the single digits remaining for this race. Lights top the pace car are out. I said we'd go back green about lap 8. I was wrong. It's going to be lap 7. So lucky 7 laps to go. Will we stay green, Eliza? What's your call?
No, we are not going to stay green. I'm calling it now. I mean, there's just a lot on the line. And you know how things get. We're going to go 3 wide, and while I hope it goes green, we know better than that. We know better than that. It's everyone's heart is in it, and you're going to be aggressive, block, and defend, and yeah, you got to play offense too. So these guys have a lot on their plate right now, and Sandy says Rivers did a great job with that scheme. We have so many drivers that are talented with paint schemes, but yeah, take a look at that scheme. That's a beauty up there. He's on that high side, and we'll see if he can't come home a Daytona 250 winner.
Yeah, I'm again surprised that he's taken the high side. He's got the 27 right behind, and then of course Maggio on the bottom. You got Luke Allen, you got the 47 there, and Michael Walls, and then Jimmy Cocker. So you got some strong guys throughout the lines. It's gonna really be who fires off together and can get that push going right from the get-go as they get up and get going through the gears. So we'll have to see. We definitely can't miss that shout out for Austin Mitty on the bottom side in that Ford machine as well. Some very, very strong cars all the way throughout.
Absolutely. I have a feeling that Rivers going to be talking to his teammate. Rivers either going to be going down low or his teammate coming up high, but I have a feeling he's going to possibly bring that car down low and get a nice push from his teammate.
Here we go. 91, 27, a little bit of separation. Looks like 27. I don't know if he's in front of him or not, but he definitely was not hooked up with Rivers Jones at all. Meanwhile, bottom side, a little bit more formed up. 7 of Luke Allen. Here he is going to have to check up a little bit. That's going to give the 47 a big view. And it looks like they're able to keep it going. 9 with a little bit of space as the top 3 on that bottom side are just about to leave that high side. Really, really pushing hard right now.
Absolutely. I think it's wise to start on that high. Ooh, these guys getting crazy. Luke Allen stuck in the center. Got a push that really upset that car, and you can see he is just melting back. Not a place you want to be, especially when your teammate is up front and you need that teammate to help. So really tough position for Luke Allen as he is going to fall back. Hopefully they keep it green, but Rivers Jones still on the inside. Michael Walls directly behind, giving a solid push. We're going to have that 27 Duncan Fall on the high side. 3 wide once again. It's going to be Jimmy Cocker coming through the middle.
Yeah, that was a huge save by Luke Allen, more than what we saw. That was the big thing of pushing the pusher. The 7 couldn't back off, and he was just getting shoved. So instead of him going straight towards the outside wall, He was able to save it, keep it in the middle, and we stay green. 91-47 and company on that bottom side. Look at that car
Trouble.
in 4th place right now. 45. And yeah, we're going to stay green though.
Staying green, but man, oh man, someone hit the wall pretty good there as these guys going 3 wide. I know John Honeycutt making some contact with some cars on the high side, but they somehow once again save it, and they are still moving. You know, Rivers Jones's heart is pounding. We got Austin Mitty and that beautiful chorus machine on that high side trying to get some momentum. He's got Jimmy Cocker pushing him in that 11 machine. These guys, they are going for it all coming up. 4 to go, Pete.
Yeah, 4 laps to go, 11:42. They got the 9 out to dry as they pick up that middle line. 47. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the 47. That's back to the 11 to 42. Here comes the 8 of Tom Flitcroft on that bottom line. Mr. was a lap down. Right now finds himself safely inside the top 10, sitting about P7. I'm looking for that 8 to make his way to the front.
This is pure chaos in this field. I mean, these guys 3 wide and making contact with each other, barely able to hang on. The 8 just according back as that low side really struggling right now. And that, how are they saving this, Pete? How? And then we have the 48 on the low side, just getting accordioned up. The 9 falling back. He's in the middle. Jacob Palmer on the outside making contact. I don't know how we're going to stay green, but man, fingers crossed. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, just watch the 42 and the 11 go from the high side to the bottom. They're banking to help with the momentum. And here they are on the bottom side underneath the 47 and that 27 led a lap or 2 this evening. Right now sitting that 47, Michael Wall, he is getting shoved, trying to hold on to that wall. You were talking, hold on to that, yeah, hold on to the wall, hold on to that wheel. But we watched the 11 of Jimmy Cocker really hold that. Oh, we got Rex.
Caution.
Bringing out a caution. That is the big one, Pete. The 8 riding the wall. I do believe probably about 20 cars involved in this. Just absolute chaos. Jimmy Cocker, our first Daytona winner, still out here in the lead with 3 to go. But man, oh man, a ton of drivers involved in this big one.
Yeah, a ton of drivers are going to be visiting pit road here very soon. Some will not be able to finish this race. We are going to kick off season 5 with a green-white checker here from Daytona. Jimmy Cocker, Michael Walls, Brody Falliker, Rivers Jones, and Matt Sisler. First time we've mentioned Matt's name this evening. Right now finding himself in that 45, up 25 spots up. And man, what a run for him. That car looked pretty clean.
It sure did. I'll tell you what, that is pure chaos. Papa's saying he got hosed. Polish saying there's nobody left. Folks saying that was massive. And all of you guys are correct on that. I mean, that was just pure chaos. And that was just a huge pile. I feel like that could be a NASCAR meme. The way that was looking. Just smoke everywhere. A track full of cars completely sideways. But Jimmy Cocker comes out still in first, still leading. And you know he's pumped. He's nervous. He's pumped. He's feeling all of it.
Yeah, there'll be a big party in FIWB town tonight if he's able to grab this W. 47 in that Chevrolet. Michael Walls, I mean, he's just got to look around and hope for help. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cocker, he's got the 42, last season's champion, and Brody Falliker sitting right with him. So more than likely, we're going to see the 11 stay on the bottom. They will time this restart and try to pull ahead. The 47 can only hope that Rivers Jones or the 45 Matt Sisler will be able to line up and push them the same way.
Man, trouble for the 8 machine.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. He's back going again, but he is the last one that stayed out. Justin Insigak, he 16th place, and he is in pit lane. So very interesting to see that only the top 15 stayed out. And kind of surprised Tom did, or maybe he's just unable to make his way back in before this.
Well, Eliza, I gotta ask you, what's your take on the Gen 6 for super speedway racing? How do you feel about it? Me personally, I think the bumping and the banging, when done properly, is really showing a lot of speed. You were talking about, I think it was Jarrett Cardwell, or no, it was the Double Deuce of Zach Deuscher getting up to 214 miles per hour. We never saw that in the Gen 7 or the next gen. I'm sorry, the Xfinity or the next gen cars. So these definitely a whole lot faster, and they can be a bit more finicky also.
Yeah, a lot more horsepower, which means you're going to get loose out there. The contact is going to upset that car, and the draft is going to be massive. The side drafting is going to be massive also. There's a lot that goes on in these vehicles, but man, is it fun. It's a lot of horsepower, a lot to handle, and you're going to see wrecks. I mean, it just comes with it. And you see these huge spoilers on the back, just trying to keep that car under control. Take a look at these. We even talked about it earlier, Pete, that they added a window to the spoiler just because they're so huge. That's crazy. You know there's a lot of speed and a lot of chaos that is involved when you have to add windows to the spoiler.
Absolutely, and that was so the guy behind could actually see ahead, but that doesn't happen. They still couldn't see. It was literally like driving towards a wall where you had to trust the guy in front of you that they weren't going to lead you wrong. And it's kind of interesting, Eliza, as I go through the full roster that started this evening's races. Or this evening's race, there's a lot of 3, 4, and 5K I rating drivers in this community, and I think that's why we're seeing such great saves, getting forced up into the middle line or going from the high side up to that third line, getting hung out to dry and still able to save it. A lot of talent in this field.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our top two drivers, almost 4K for Jimmy, just over 4 for Micah Walls. So everyone in our top 6 are above 3K. So that's a lot of talent, and it goes throughout the entire field. And Francis Hamilton, I see out there, Sandy, he is currently sitting 19th. Hopefully can make his way back out front. He's getting a win. I'm saying it. I know he is. I felt it last season that if I told him, I said, if you're not getting it this season, last season, you're getting it this season. So plenty of time to do it. It's happening. But FIWB sitting up there up front, 11 and the 42. Micah Walls on the outside. Rivers Jones for Dart on the outside. Steven Maggio, the 45 of Matt. And these guys are stacked and ready to go with only coming up 2 to go.
Yeah, it's going to be a green-white checker. Pace car's going to go ahead and pull off, make that hard left towards pit road. You can bet that the 11 is talking to the 42 of Brody Falliker, saying 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. And what do you know? Green flag back out, and those two are hooked up. 91, 47, not so much. Will the 47 drop low? Yes, he does.
Absolutely.
3 deep on the bottom.
Yeah, you want to get out front, but man, you don't want to get too much of a head start because that's just a sitting duck syndrome right there. But that 47, a little bit of gap between them. Rivers Jones, not too much where to go on the outside. He's got Steven Maggio behind him, but he's going to need a lot more help than that as this low line is just all over each other. We'll see what they can do as we're coming up on the final lap, heading in to turn 3. Jimmy Cocker out in the lead, teammate and previous season champion Brody Falliker.
Yeah, Brody's staying right with the 11. Had the opportunity to go on up and pull the 47, but he's not going to leave his teammate. These guys ran just the opposite to close out season number 4. Here we go. White flag is in the air. Can the 11 get the W? Will the 42 try to pull out? Maybe grab a little bit of help from the 47? Right now, all the momentum looks like it's on the bottom side as the 45 pulls side by side with the 47.
These guys are going checkers or wreckers right now. I mean, they're doing all they can, side drafting that 47 on the bottom side. You got Rivers Jones, Jimmy Cocker going to the outside. I am really surprised by that. Brody Falliker going to get a nice lead and momentum out there, but Jimmy, can he hold on to it? Here we go, down to the finish line. Who's gonna take it? Jimmy Cocker. He's gonna try to defend it 3 wide for the win. Jimmy Cocker is a repeat winner here at Daytona 250. How about that?
I was not expecting that whatsoever. I think Jimmy Cocker might have went up high, thinking, you know what, we're going to try to control these lines. We're going to make sure that it's a Team FIWB 1-2. I started to kind of go towards it, but it was Brody Falker and Jimmy Cocker going for the championship last season. This time around, it was Jimmy Cocker leading with the 42 right behind. 47 says congratulations, same as the 09 of Justin Anaskog. Big win for that number 11. Gets it done to start season 1 and again here in season 1.
Yeah, taking that throwback paint scheme back into victory lane. Sweet victory for Jimmy Cocker and FIWB teammates. Michael Walls in second, Brody Folliker in third, Rivers Jones fourth, Steven Maggio in fifth. Let's get these guys in here and celebrate. How about that? Just a crazy race out here. Fantastic job to these guys. See if Michael Walls is out there, but yeah. Jimmy burning it down out there. We'll let him celebrate and try to get the remainder of these guys out in chat here. Pete, a crazy finish of the race, and Jimmy just holds everyone off, bringing that throwback back into victory lane. Sweet victory. Brody finishing out here in third, and we'll see if Micah is able to join us in the booth. But Jimmy Cocker, how about that? Back in the winner's circle. Burning it down. How does it feel to be a repeat winner, especially at the inaugural Daytona, bringing it back into winner's circle?
Feels awesome. I'm amazed that this car has so much luck. Feels great. I have to give it all to my teammate Brody. Brody was working with me at the end. Frank was working throughout the entire race. We were working so well together as a team. This one really goes to FIWB as a whole.
It takes so much teamwork out there, and I know you had Francis Hamilton out here working with you, and now Brody Folliker. Take us through your move to the high side. I was pretty surprised about that as we were coming down to the finish line here.
I'll be completely honest with you. I thought Brody was coming with me. He said high side. I was like, okay, I gotta go up there, and I went up there, and he stayed on the bottom, and it actually worked out perfectly. I mean, we were able to control the lines, and I think it was the right move at the end of the day.
Yeah, you absolutely proved that 100%. So huge congratulations, sweet victory, taking that paint scheme back into victory lane, and you got another Daytona win out here. So great way to start the season and get that momentum going.
Thank you so much, Liza.
All right, Pete. We have a Michael Walls in here, so let's get him.
Micah, it's Pete up in the booth, bud. You got a quick copy?
I sure do.
All right, Michael, when all the chips were down, you were hard on the throttle, no lifting whatsoever. You saw the 42 on the bottom, the 11 went up high. What were your thoughts coming to the line?
I don't even really know. I just knew I had to make a move pretty late there. I knew those two were teammates, and I was going to be kind of screwed there if I didn't. I don't know. There's nothing I could really do there.
A lot of chaos, a lot of different teams, working together. And coming into Shake and Bake, what was your expectation for the duels and then here for the 250?
Well, my expectation every week is to go out there and win it. I know I'm good enough to go out there and fight for a win every single week. I had pretty bad luck at plate tracks, but fortunately today it turned around a little bit. But yeah.
We definitely saw our share of cautions, couple where most of the field went on down, grab 4, grab 2, or just fuel. What was your strategy throughout the evening?
I only took 4 tires once the entire race, and no tires. So.
All right. And, next week we head on over to Atlanta Motor Speedway. You said this style of racing is not maybe necessarily your cup of tea. What do you think about Legacy Atlanta and your chances to maybe go for the checkers there?
Legacy Atlanta is going to be a lot of fun. It's actually going to show who's going to be the strongest in the pack for the entire season and not just a play track where everybody runs up front. So
All right, man. Big, big congrats. Runner up this evening to start season number 5. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Eliza, you got last season's champ, Mr. Brody Falliker.
Yeah, last season's champ, Brody Folliker, and he gains 28 spots out here tonight. Brody, take us through your race. How'd you make your way up to the front and to work with your teammate for a possible win tonight?
I felt like I went front to back all night. I think with 10 laps to go, I was like 20th or something. I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that drive through the field because I feel like I made every move correctly. Even towards the end, staying committed to Jim right there. I think I did everything that I could, and I'm definitely glad that one of us got the win. Yeah, no, this race tonight, I feel like the whole field definitely put on a show for y'all.
Yes.
Most certainly did. Absolutely. Like I told Pete, I said I think these guys were like, we're not having a boring race tonight because start to finish, just excitement, chaos, and a lot of hard racing. Just huge props, a ton of saves. I don't even know how you guys saved half the stuff that you did, but just phenomenal drive by all of you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, a great way to end last season with an FIWB championship, and what a way to start season 5 with another FIWB win. Huge congratulations to Jimmy Cocker and Micah for second, Brody for third, and the field overall. Just phenomenal racing. As you heard Pete earlier, we are headed to Atlanta, the legacy version, which it's very racy. You have to keep control of your car, and it will, as Micah says, separate those drivers. We'll see what happens, but Pete, it is always fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be a phenomenal season. And just kicking it off. Atlanta Motor Speedway. I know I said it earlier, not trying to beat a dead horse, but everybody or a lot of people think that the season starts next week where it's more in the driver's hands versus the pack that we see at the super speedways. I look forward to seeing everybody back again next week.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same day. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for all the support. Take it easy.